Hello, I'm Anastasia. Welcome to Sacred Reset, a quiet place to breathe, to reflect, and to reset. This is your space to realign, to reconnect, and to remember who you are. A place for stories and affirmations that transform perspective. Take a deep breath. Inhale, hold, and release. In our world and culture that celebrates constant movement and instant everything, move faster, work harder, respond immediately, fix the problem, defend yourself, prove yourself. Never stop. Just go, go, go. Amidst that kind of urgency, standing still is perhaps the least trendy thing to do. Stillness almost feels irresponsible. Yet, throughout Scripture, there is a revelation of something completely different. Some of God's greatest victories happened when His people stopped struggling to make things happen and simply stood still. Because stillness is not inactivity. Stillness is trust. Several years ago, I watched the 2010 remake of The Karate Kid, one of my favorite movies, starring Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith. And although the movie is about kung fu, one particular scene teaches a profound spiritual lesson that I want to draw from today. Mr. Han takes his student Dre to the Taoist temple located in the Wudang Mountains of Hubei Province, China. And there, Dre witnesses something fantastic. A woman who is a master kung fu artist standing on a narrow stone ledge, elevated hundreds of feet above the ground, face to face with a deadly cobra. She doesn't panic. She doesn't attack. She doesn't run. She simply becomes still. Her movements are slow, peaceful, measured. And something amazing happens. The cobra begins mirroring her movements. Watching this face-off prompted Xiao Dre to ask his teacher, Mr. Han, why the woman was copying the cobra. But he gently corrects Dre by telling him the woman isn't imitating the cobra. The cobra is imitating the woman. Mr. Han gently explained. The woman became like still water because her mind was still and her heart was still. The snake reflected her peace. Confused, Dre asks, so she defeated the snake by doing nothing? Again, Mr. Han gently corrects him. Being still and doing nothing are two different things. And that one sentence contains remarkable wisdom. Being still is not surrendering to fear. It is surrendering fear itself. Long before Hollywood told that story, God spoke these words to His people, recorded in the book of Psalm 46, verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. Notice He didn't say, be busy. He didn't say, figure everything out and then call me. He didn't say, control every outcome. He said, be still. Because stillness creates space for something that panic never can. Clarity, discernment, peace, faith. When the Israelites stood trapped between Pharaoh's angry army and the deep Red Sea, every instinct told them to run, to fight, to hide, to do something. But Moses spoke words that sounded almost impossible, almost crazy. He said, "While your enemies, an angry army, fully equipped with weapons of mass destruction, while they're behind you and an impassable body of water is before you, here is what I want you to do. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." Imagine that moment. An army behind you, an untraversable sea before you, no visible escape, yet God's instruction was stand still. Not because nothing was happening, but because God was about to move. Their standing still wasn't weakness. It was an act of faith. There are moments in every life when we've done everything we know to do. Do you have them? I can think back on my life of many. You've prayed, you've apologized, you've applied, you've prepared, you've obeyed, and yet nothing seems to happen. You find yourself living in the uncomfortable space between, that nebulous place between I have obeyed and I haven't yet seen the outcome. That space is where faith grows. Not because you're forcing doors open, but because you're trusting God with the doors you cannot open for yourself. Standing still is doing everything God has asked of you and refusing to step into fear while you wait for Him to do what only He can do. The Apostle Paul gives another picture of this in Ephesians, and he does it beautifully. After describing the whole armor of God, he doesn't conclude by saying, "Run." He says, "Having done all to stand, stand." Stand, not quit, not retreat, not panic. Stand. 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 Sometimes standing still is discernment. Sometimes it's patience. Sometimes it is restraint. Sometimes it is choosing silence instead of response or reaction to that email, to that off-colored comment. Sometimes the strongest move you can make is the one you choose not to make. Jesus demonstrated this perfectly while his disciples panicked during the storm. Jesus rested. Not because he ignored reality, but because he knew who is greater than the storm. Peace isn't found in calm circumstances. Peace is found in confidence that God remains sovereign even when life feels uncertain. Take time to be still, to know. Knowledge and truth are attracted to stillness. God speaks in our silence, when we take time to pause and to listen. So as I speak these words, allow them to allay your fears and settle deep into your soul. God is able to do exceedingly abundantly beyond what I can ask, think, or imagine. I will be still and know that God is God. There are battles God is fighting that I cannot see. I trust God's timing more than my own understanding. I do not have to force what God has already ordained. I choose peace over panic. I refuse to be driven by fear. I will not confuse delay with denial. What God has for me will not pass me by. Having done all to stand, I stand. At the end of the Karate Kid 2010 remake, Dre's experience with the woman taming the cobra teaches him that true serenity and control are the keys to Kung Fu. And ultimately, that experience inspired the cobra strike he uses to win the final tournament. In the same way, true serenity, surrender, and control are the weapons we use to remain faithful and focused, so that we too can stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. As you move throughout your day, remember this. Not every open door is meant for you. Not every battle requires your response. Not every criticism deserves your attention. Silence often speaks louder than words. Stillness often reveals what hurriedness conceals. Standing still isn't giving up. It is standing firmly on God's promises until His timing and His strategy becomes clear. I cannot tell you what your next move should be, but I know without a doubt that you will find it when you stand still. You are here for a reason. Your life has meaning, and you are not alone. If Sacred Reset has encouraged your heart today or at any time, I'd love to invite you to subscribe and become part of our growing community. Together we'll continue sharing stories and affirmations that transform perspective as we breathe, reflect, and reset. I'm Anastasia. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with me. God bless and peace.